Hey, what's going on YouTube? iDevice Help here, and today I got the epic battle between the Google Nexus 7 and Apple's brand new iPad mini. Now here on the right I got the Wi-Fi 16GB option that you can get for $329 for Wi-Fi only, that is. Of course, $429 for 32GB and $529 for 64GB. Now if you want cellular data option, you have to add $130 on top of each configuration. Now inside this bad boy we have a dual-core A5 processor with 512 megabyte of RAM, which is what the iPhone 4S ran last year, so they have the iPhone 4S internals on this one. We also got the latest version of iOS 6. We have a 7.9-inch diagonal screen with 5 inches wide, and it's a really light tablet. It comes in at less than a pound, 0.68. Really nice to read and hold on a day-to-day basis. Now, it does support a Wi-Fi BGN, and also supports 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi dual band, and I'll demonstrate what that means further down in the video, how that improves performance in Wi-Fi. Also, Bluetooth 4.0, which is the latest configurations for Bluetooth out there for mobile devices. We also have a 1024 by 768 resolution screen, which gives us 163 pixels per inch. Now, the front-facing camera here is an HD camera with 1.2 megapixels and records 720 video and video calling. And also in the back we got the iSight camera, which is a 5 megapixel with autofocus and also 720p video recording. On the bottom, of course, the lightning, the dual speakers. On the left we have the mute switch and the volume rocker. Of course, microphone on top, headphone jack, and that's pretty much it for the iPad mini. Now jumping on over here to the Google Nexus 7, for 16 gigabytes you get you pay $199 for 16 gigabytes, and for 32 gigabytes you pay $249, which is relatively cheaper than the iPad mini. Now inside this bad boy we have an Nvidia Tegra 3 quad-core 1.3 Cortex processor with 1 gigabyte of RAM. This one is the 16 gigabytes, and it is running Android 4.1. Now in the front we got the front-facing camera with 1.2 megapixels as well, video calling at 720p, so that's pretty much the same. And Wi-Fi configuration is BG and N, but no dual band, only single band Wi-Fi. The screen resolution is 800 by 1280, which pixels per inch, and the screen is a 7-inch diagonal screen, which that gives us 216 pixels density. Alright, so enough of the tech specs. Let's go ahead and boot these both tablets up and see which one boots up faster. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and power up both of these devices, see which one boots up faster at a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so there you go. Both devices are booting up. Let's see which one turns up faster, or boots up faster. Looks like the Nexus is coming up a little faster here. Oh, nope, the iPad actually came in faster. That's weird because we have a faster processor on the Nexus, but the iPad did beat the Nexus at booting up. There it is, we're already good to use the iPad. We're still working on the Nexus. Alright, so the Nexus is there. The iPad took that by say a few seconds there. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and run a quick test here on the Geekbench application, which measures the performance of the device. We're going to go ahead and shut off all the applications that are running in the background for both devices. Here on the tablets, let's go ahead here, quit the, okay, so here we go, let's go, both devices, run a Geekbench performance test here, see how they both perform. Alright, so the Google Nexus 7 here came in a lot faster with 1469 on performance. The memory was really fast. There the iPad mini came in second with half of that, 760. So definitely the performance here on the Nexus 7, it is much faster. In terms of performance and internal performance, that quad-core CPU does show its performance here. Now, let's go ahead and launch the Wi-Fi performance. Again, you can get cellular data on the iPad, but you can only get the Wi-Fi version for the Nexus as of right now. So the iPad does support the dual band, so I'm going to go ahead and run the iPad first, see what kind of performance we get. Both networks are in the same, where both devices are in the same Wi-Fi network, but the iPad is connected to the dual band because it is supported on the iPad. So that gives us 24.26 and 4 up. So down is 24 and up is 4. Here on the Nexus, again, same Wi-Fi network, but single the regular Wi-Fi connection, because it does not support the 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi. It only supports the 2.4 gigahertz bands. Okay, and the iPad supports the 5 gigahertz band, which is double. So that's one thing you might want to keep in mind. Both of these devices are Wi-Fi. If you decide to go with the Wi-Fi iPad, it does perform better than the Nexus. It comes in at 10 down, which is not bad, and 4.5 up. It actually did a little bit better on up performance. Let's go ahead and run that one more time, see how the Wi-Fi stacks up. So there it is one more time. The iPad is coming in at 18 down. And upload speeds, the iPad is given 4. So one more time here for the Nexus, and we'll wrap this Wi-Fi performance test up. So there it is, the down speeds here on the Nexus. 16 going on to 17. There it is, 16.80. And down we have 4.40. So it actually did really good, but the iPad still came up top, again, because the iPad has a better Wi-Fi card built in. So let's go ahead and run a few more tests here. Let's go ahead and jump into both browsers here, see which one launches faster. Here it is, pretty much the browsers, just applications just launching pretty much the same. Let me go ahead here and type in my iBlog to go ahead and see which one loads up faster. So there, the iPad came in a little bit faster, still working on it, but yep, it came in a little faster than the Nexus, but not by a lot. Now the scrolling here on the Nexus is I don't know if you can tell, it's a bit choppy. It's a bit choppy. There it is, loading up stuff. On the iPad is just smooth sailing. Even though we have a better performance chip on the Nexus, sometimes if the software is better linked to the hardware, you get better performance, and that's the case here on the Nexus and the iPad. Now, of course, another thing you want to take in consideration is, well, now that it's fully loaded, it is a bit choppy, but it scrolls a little faster. But another thing you want to notice, how the iPad has the wider screen, even though they're the same height. You get a better wide screen or wider angle here on the portrait mode. And on the landscape mode here, there we go. You also get a more rich experience while you're browsing the web. Now, I guess it comes to personal preference at this point, but as you can see there, you get more detailed and more of your browsing experience on the iPad. So that is the browsers. So let's go ahead and keep running a few more tests, see how both of these tablets stack up. Let's go ahead and go back. Alright, so now most consumers are using these tablets nowadays to read books, download movies, and TV shows and things of that nature, so as well as music. So in Google's market, or the Google Play, you find everything in one spot. You find apps, music, magazines, TV shows, books, you name it. Everything is one single location. Here on the iPad, you have 3 applications, one for music and videos, the other one is the App Store, of course, and the iBookstore for books and magazines. Now, the catalog here for the iPad is much richer than on the Nexus. It has more applications, more books, and a wider selection of applications, more than the Nexus, but I don't think you will be missing most of the core applications that people use on a day-to-day basis, such as, like, Facebook, Pandora, things of that nature. You'll have them here on your Nexus, but if you want more applications, definitely the iPad is the way to go. Now, so in terms of picture taking, the iPad offers the back-facing camera, which is a 5 megapixel 720p. The Nexus does not offer a back-facing camera, so we cannot compare any images or pictures on any of these two devices in terms of picture taking. Now, for both front-facing cameras are equal. The video conferencing is about the same, so that is pretty much it for the in terms of cameras. I would go with the iPad because it is a little bit more expensive, but I don't know. I don't usually take pictures with a tablet, but it does offer the back-facing camera in case you need it. Rather than the Nexus, you only have the front-facing camera, which I think that helps bring the price down here on the Nexus. So it comes down to personal preference, I guess. Alright, so the last thing I wanted to test was the Google Now, which is Google's voice assistant application that is competing with Siri on the iPads and iPhones. So let's go ahead and ask a few questions here and see how they both perform. So Siri is there talking already. Let's go ahead and ask a few questions. Simple things that people do day to day. What's the weather right now?
Here's how it looks right now.
So there it is. Both came up with the weather rather quickly. Let's go ahead and open the web browser. So there it is. The Siri actually went ahead and opened the web browser. Google just gave me Google results. Let's go ahead and now Google does have access to the hardware and software of this device, so it could be doing these things. It's just not capable yet. Let's go ahead and update my Facebook status.
I can't. You haven't set up your Facebook account yet.
I haven't set up the Facebook here on the iPad, but it is capable of updating your Facebook status and things of that nature. Here on the Nexus, we do not have that support. And again, Siri's being a little more interactive. I know a lot of people don't really use voice assistants, but it's some of the features, and I figured I'd cover it. Let's go ahead and ask one more question, and we'll wrap this up. Who is Michael Jordan?
Let me think about that.
So
Here's what I found.
Google came in faster with lots of information. The feedback or the voice assistant did not communicate as much as Siri once again, but it gave us more information that Siri did in a way, because of course this is Google. Google has lots of information, but Apple did it on a nice presentable way here. And yeah, so that's it. That's pretty much it, guys. I guess it comes down to personal preference. Both devices are really, really good devices. You do get a cheaper or a lower price device here, but it does feel really, really nice. It does not feel cheap at all. You can hold it with one hand, and I think both of these devices you can't go wrong with either one. The iPad mini is a few bucks, or $100, $130 more for the same configuration of Wi-Fi, 16 gigabytes. This one is $199, and this one is $329 for 16 gigabytes Wi-Fi only for both models. So I guess it just comes down to what you prefer. If you're in the Apple ecosystem and you're used to iOS, then I would recommend going with the iPad. But once again, you can't go wrong here with the Google Nexus. Both tablets are great tablets, and once again, I don't think you go wrong with either one. So please leave a comment down below what you think about these tablets. Are you going to go pick one up for yourself this holiday season? Make sure you click that like button. I really do appreciate it, guys. It always helps me out a lot. And also make sure you stay up to date with the latest information on iOS devices by going to iDeviceHelpUs.blogspot.com. It's been iDevice. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will catch you guys real soon. Peace.